Everybody, Brian Good here. Decided to do a blog today to try to get everything out I can to Facebook, but we'll try to get your answers question there as well. Let me take you back the past 12 hours. Started off around midnight, quiet, and then suddenly, as the warm front started to move in, we started to see these what we call elevated thunderstorms, and that allows for mainly hail producers, not so much damaging winds, but a lot of hail, heavy rain, a lot of lightning, and we certainly saw that. In fact, hail reports, there weren't a lot of them, but we had several reports of P to dime-sized hail. That appears to be the largest, by the way, which is still below severe limits. So we didn't have anything huge as far as hailstones, but certainly did wake up a lot of you, along with the lightning and thunder out there. All right, so here we are now with rain and thunder in the Louisville area. Got some off to the east. We're about to get a break in the action, though, as we head to the afternoon period. Still a decent amount of lightning, though, can be found. As far as temperatures, we're up to the double nickel at the moment. Same thing to Litchfield. We're beginning to climb slowly. Notice a lot of cloud cover in the visible satellite, though. So there's not a lot of thinning of the clouds. In fact, it's kind of cool if you look carefully. You can see these little bumps. Those are the tops of the thunderstorms, little anvils, if you will, sticking up out of the clouds, telling you where the most intense rainfall certainly is at the moment. When you look across the Midwest, there is some thinning in Illinois and Missouri. May allow for a bit of sunshine in that area, but mainly a lot of cirrus clouds all over the place. It's warmer there in the 60s. We'll see that warmer surge in here later on for this afternoon. All right, let's talk about the outlooks. Slight risk here, enhanced risk, mainly north of Louisville all the way through. I mean, it's a large area of enhanced risk. And you're thinking, a lot of you are asked to me at this point by saying, you know, I looked at the model data and why does the enhanced stop here? You have to keep in mind how these outlooks are issued. They go until 7 a.m. and then it picks back up again on day 2 at 7 a.m. for the next period. So because we're at that split of our last and final round being close to 7 a.m., that's why it's not exactly encompassing us. I think if the outlook, you know, went all the way out to say 10 a.m. tomorrow, we would see the enhanced a little more to the east. Either way, don't get caught up in the outlooks. It's not important. We're beyond that now. Now the awareness is out. The outlooks are for awareness to let you know something could happen or is likely to happen. Now we're to the point where we're getting ready for it to happen, and we need to talk about that. So I'm paying attention to that. They are talking about, you know, obviously when you see that hatched area, maybe a significant tornado or two out there in the Midwest. Damage and wind potential, large hail, you name it. Tomorrow, again, the outlook mainly to our east, but that's because of the timing of the 7 a.m. Split. So let's get right into Futurecast. Show you that first, then we'll get into some of the models. It's showing how we will see the activity ease this afternoon. I don't know if we'll go completely dry. I think we're going to be unstable enough this afternoon in pockets. There will be a cap developing, but there will be pockets of instability that we can't rule out a renegade downpour that could certainly develop, and that could be a strong one. And that one would be more of a wind issue, by the way, this afternoon versus this morning was a hail thing. Overall, though, a quieter look to the radar expected for most of the evening until we get to the midnight hour and just beyond. Question is, how strong is the cap going to hold over Kentucky? I'm seeing signs it may hold for a while overnight. The cap will likely then break over Indiana, though. That means Indiana has a greater likelihood to see these cells with that second round begin to develop, and they can become severe rapidly, and there will be a damage and wind threat with those if they do develop, along with isolated tornadoes and large hail. Again, the cap strength over Kentucky is the question mark, and how far north that can actually go. When you look at the soundings, you can see how there is a bit of a dip in the wind fields. I mean, 60 to 75 knots, getting awful low in the atmosphere. Even just straight line wind gusts can push some of that down and create some wind damage, and our max amount of energy we will have for this entire system too is going to happen during that window of about, say, midnight to about 7 a.m. So everything's lining up. I know it's a nighttime event. Usually that's against us on instability, but there is so much moisture involved. You get this much of a moisture surge, you can create instability that way. You don't always need the sun to get you there. Okay, instability isn't defined as sunshine required. It's defined as an unstable setup, and the ingredients, the way they are lined up, the strong wind fields around, it's going to be unstable. All right. The question would then just be the strength of the cap and timing. So let's look at some of the models. Here's the NAM high res, and keep in mind the NAM has a tendency sometimes to exaggerate some of the parameters a bit, but when you look at high res models, it's pretty much all we got. The Herd model is a little bit more dramatic, so I'm not even going to show it really when it comes to some of these parameters. But the GFS has got a poor grid. This close in time. So really the NAM high res is one of your better options along with the Schreff model. But when you look at this color shading is the cap this afternoon. The more you get into the red and purples, the stronger the lid is in the atmosphere, and thunderstorms just can't really get going. Notice it's not overly bright over us, but enough that it should calm the radar down. Then as we get into the overnight, we begin to lose it. You see where the cap breaks in Missouri, Tennessee, parts of Kentucky, Indiana. That is the area then we've got to see if things begin to develop in the radar. And sure enough, the NAM is pinpointing that idea of supercell type structures developing where the cap is gone and quiet elsewhere. When you look at the potential for rotating thunderstorms, and yes, this would mean potential for tornadoes. Notice it's higher across Illinois into Missouri, but as we head into the morning period, it does concentrate a bit more into wave country, even as we head into mid-morning for tomorrow, which is certainly concerning. But again, I have to stress that NAM sometimes can push this limit a little higher than it needs to be. And this is what the radar is showing from the NAM with the actual front, say around, say 9 or 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. All right, now the HRRR model, by the way, when it looks at potential for anything that can rotate overnight tonight, it can only go out to about 4 a.m. They can't see beyond that yet, but at least do about 4 a.m. This is the zone it says there could be some rotating thunderstorms. So that would match actually the enhanced area from the Storm Prediction Center quite well. What I want you guys to get from this, overall summary here, thunderstorms now are going to begin to fade. For the afternoon, we're going to get a break. We have another potential round to develop on the radar. Now, I do think anything for the late evening and midnight period in Illinois, this area is going to be during then, because by the time we get into, say, 4 to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, a lot of the action and a lot of the threat is going to be right in through this area. It's going to focus more into the mid portion here of the Mississippi Valley. Paducah would be right in the middle of it. So we're likely going to see a potential for storms to erupt around midnight to 4 a.m. Wherever the cap breaks, how much in Kentucky is questionable on that. Indiana certainly has a better chance. And then everybody will have a chance at a thunderstorm with the actual front as we head into Wednesday morning. Is there a chance, if the rain's too widespread overnight, with that overnight activity, it could disrupt that final band with the actual front, cold front itself, Wednesday morning? Yes, that is possible. We're not ruling that off. But we have to at least prepare you for that possibility that it doesn't stop that last round from happening and catch you off guard. We'll make sure you're aware of it, and we'll just trend it hour by hour. Stay tuned for updates. Get the Way Through News weather app. It will help you out. Christy's got an update coming up on midday at 11, and then, of course, Kevin and Ryan will have updates coming up tonight, and Christy and I got you covered again bright and early tomorrow for it. It looks to be another busy day for us. So hang tight, stay informed, and stay safe.